Alright, we are now at part 3 of episode 3. Had to make 3 parts this time because there was just so much to talk about in sports. We're going to get to football here in a minute, a little UFC, Josh Gordon, Cleveland, two party boys apparently up in Cleveland, but we're going to go back to baseball.
Stop.
Cleveland's party town. We're going to go back to baseball real quick and back to the Cardinals. Talk about All-Stars, the All-Star break coming up, the home run derby, the game. Mike Matheny, disappointing year last year. They made it to the World Series. They lost to the great Red Sox team. But because of that, Mike Matheny is obviously the manager of the NL All-Star team. Now, 2 big decisions he's going to have to make. Matt Adams and Adam Wainwright. Neither one of them are leading the fan vote, but both of them, Wainwright is tied with Zach Greinke in the National League with 11 wins. He is leading the league in ERA with a 1.89 ERA. Very good walk to strikeout ratio.
Who's the All-Star games for, though?
I'm sorry?
Who's the All-Star games for? The fans.
The fans. It really is.
Which they want.
I really don't like that because of the fan vote. Most of the time, the most popular players get to represent and not the best players.
But the best
and because of that, Yasiel Puig, is right now leading the vote. I don't, he's a flashy player, but I just don't think he's, there's more of Andrew McCutchen, at the Pirates. I don't like the Pirates, but Andrew McCutchen is a very good.
You don't like anybody except the Cardinals, don't you?
I respect the game. I'm like you. I respect the NBA. Andrew McCutchen's having another very good year for the Pirates. There's a lot of other players that could go. Stanton is having an amazing year, but he's not in the top 3 of the starting outfield because
fan votes.
Well,
let me remind you, fans voted Allen Iverson to be a starter a couple years ago in the All-Star game in the NBA, and he didn't even play in the NBA. The fans are crazy.
Anyway,
who's going to win the home run derby?
Troy Tulowitzki. Troy Tulowitzki is the National League. Leader of the home run team. The new setup that they have. He has not said who he is going to invite, but we assume Giancarlo Stanton will be in it. I think he already said he wants to or is going to participate in it. What?
You don't got to be a fan of baseball, but you can watch it.
Just the show that Josh Hamilton put on a couple years ago in New York at the last.
People who don't watch baseball and they might flip the channels and if they see a home run, they're like, wow.
And the home run derby is completely different than a game home run because they put it right where they want it and those things just they fly.
It's like the dunk contest,
right? Like what?
It's like the dunk contest in the NBA.
Right, yeah.
2 entertaining things.
You don't want to miss the dunk contest. And even the skills challenge in the All-Star game, in my opinion, I like the skills challenge, the dunk contest, and 3-point shootout.
I love this 3-point shootout.
More than I like the actual All-Star game.
Yeah, it's more fun. You get more things in one night.
Right.
Then when you get the All-Star game, everybody, no defense. I like defense.
Yeah. That's why most games are 130 to 135.
I'm surprised the East won this year. Kyrie Irving, man, I think that Kyrie Irving game, he was trying to tell LeBron, like, hey, man, look what I can do.
Yeah. Come back and play with me. But it's going to be a good one this year. Obviously, the AL won last year because they had home field advantage in the World Series. I don't like that either. I don't think that's a good format. But Edwin Encarnacion, Giancarlo Stanton, Jose Abreu, good big names to watch out for the home run derby. Does Wainwright start for the Cardinals? Or does Wainwright start for the National League in the All-Star game? Because even though he is one of the best pitchers in the game, he is leading in ERA, he's tied for wins, everybody will scream, well, Kershaw has a no-hitter. Tim Lincecum has 2 no-hitters in the past 2 years. Beckett has a no-hitter this year. Johnny Cueto is being referred to as Johnny Baseball. He is having a phenomenal year for Cincinnati.
I think what you do is, man, you give the fans what they want, and then you give the...
But see, the manager starts the starting pitcher. That's his decision. So does Mike Matheny reward Wainwright and give him the starting nod. The way his pitching schedule is set up right now, it would actually work out perfectly for him to pitch in that game, pitch an inning or two. Or does he not give it to his own pitcher and give the nod to Kershaw or Cueto or somebody like that? And does he add Matt Adams to the team, who is one of the top leaders in the league in average right now, and the power has come along? Fans, don't be fooled because he only has the number of home runs that he has now. There will be more. He is not a fully developed player. He's not Jose Brady right now. He will get his 20 home runs a year. His 300 exactly. I mean, he's hitting 320 right now. For a big man, he's agile in defense. What more can you ask for? So keep an eye out for that. The Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game are coming up next week. Check out for it. Now
tonight. I know you said you wasn't a fan earlier.
I do watch it sometimes.
Everybody knows Anderson Silva. You know who Anderson Silva is.
I know who Anderson Silva was.
Everybody says he's the best in the world.
Until he got his leg.
But before that, he got knocked out in the first fight.
Now, I'm just saying, a lot of people said he might not be able to come back after getting his leg snapped.
He's already practicing. He's back.
I know he's back, but how is that going to be in his mind? Prime example for basketball.
I do what Damon White tells me. That's what I do. That's what he's going to say.
Well, if he tells him don't think about it, you shouldn't think about it.
Oh, Dana White ain't going to say that because Dana White wants that money. And now people pay to see Silva. But I'm not talking
especially coming back from that.
I'm talking about Chris Weidman. Versus Lyoto Machida, man. People don't give Weidman the respect he deserves for beating Silva. But if he wins tonight against Lyoto Machida and keeps that title, people have to start like, wow, he's one of the best in UFC. Probably better than John Jones, who ducks fight more than anybody. But what I love is Ronda Rousey. Mate, you haven't seen her, I don't think. She's a UFC Phantomweight Women's Champion. All of her fights have been won with the armbar. All of but one is ended in the first round. I've seen her break 2 females' arms. She's a bad woman. Yeah, so I think she's going to win tonight.
Ronda Rousey, I do know who that is. And I would just like to add that she can do an armbar on me any day.
Better watch out.
I would not have a problem with that. So, check out for that. That'll be a good fight. We'll talk about that next time.
2 big title fights tonight.
2 big ones. Now, switching to NFL real quick. Cleveland has 2 party boys now. 2 party boys. Josh Gordon, wide receiver for the Browns, was arrested this morning for a DWI in Raleigh, North Carolina. He was arrested. I don't know what. We do not have the information available to us to tell us what he blew on his breathalyzer test, but we do know it was a DWI, so it was definitely over the limit.
So how much? So he's gonna be out of jail in what, 3 days?
Probably less than that.
Yeah.
But
Cleveland
has a good young core. They do have a good team starting out, but is Johnny Football and Josh Gordon going to be too much of a party liability for them to succeed in any way?
I don't watch NFL, so I sure don't watch college football. But man, I'm not no dummy when I see Johnny Football on my TV every day on Texas A&M. I know that boy can tear up an offensive football.
He can.
So Cleveland Browns are stupid not to put them as his starting quarterback.
No. Here's the way I see it. You don't want to throw a young quarterback automatically into the fire pit, because if you do that and they don't win, then Manziel's going to be run out of Cleveland.
Like Tim Tebow?
Basically. And honestly, yes, that's really what it's like. If you give him time, you give the guy that's already there, you give him the starts, let him play, just like last year. Geno Smith was not the starter at the beginning of the season. Rex Ryan came out and said that. Mark Sanchez is our guy. Geno Smith is the backup. That's the way it's going to be. That's the way I said it. And that's what happened. Now when Sanchez struggled mightily, then Geno Smith was inserted into the starter's role, and he thrived there. Now the same formula can be used in Cleveland with Johnny Manziel and their starter there. Give him the football. If he doesn't work out halfway, 7 games into the season, 8 games into the season, give Johnny more reps, see what he can do. If he plays more, he plays better. Give him the starting role. See how he does. If you put him in the starting role and he thrives, the team wins.
Well, Cleveland,
there you go.
Cleveland ain't got nothing to lose.
Cleveland does. They don't. But that you just want to eat. Neither did New York last year. Nobody expected New York to win. I mean, that was clear. Geno Smith, it don't matter. New York wasn't going to win. It was just another year for them.
Are you a Cowboys fan?
No.
Okay, that's good. Sorry for all the Cowboys fans.
I guess if anything, I can say I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan.
So you don't matter what town, just you like the Cardinals. I like the Steelers, man. A couple years back, Ben Roethlisberger. But
I remember watching that Super Bowl, the Cardinals versus the Steelers,
and I was going for the Steelers.
Yeah, I was going for the Cardinals.
Well, just like 2011,
we got a marquee matchup of fanism between Ben Roethlisberger and LeBron James.
Hey, I wasn't talking about Ben Roethlisberger. I'm talking about that defense.
Troy Polamalu.
Brody Carter.
If you're watching this right now, shout out to you. Sorry for the name dropping. But Mr. Troy, by the way, I saw him, Brody, in action last night, doing a couple tackle and some sneaking in the backfield around here in Morley. So, it's an interesting little note. So, but Johnny just needs time. He doesn't need to be thrown in there right now, because I think if they do that, then that may end up hurting him in the long run.
But his name is Johnny Football.
But I mean, do you want to ease it or do you want to chance it? I mean, they're not going to win anything next year. That's for sure, certain. So you really don't want to say this is an all-in. Put him in the starting role. If he wins, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl. If he doesn't thrive in it, then he's a lost cause.
I'd at least they play 16 games a year. I'd at least let him start 4 games at least.
I mean, it depends on the way the season goes. If he is already playing well, then they may give him the starting spot. If not, then
if we played anything like he did in college, man.
But I mean, true. Besides
professional.
Besides Alabama, you're going up against bigger guys, bigger defensive. They're stronger. They're faster. They're smarter,
mature.
Some are fatter, offensive linemen or defensive linemen. So, but at the same time, you got a bigger offensive line to protect you. So we'll just see how that works out. So we've covered quite a bit today.
All 3 of the main sports.
Plus UFC. Hockey note: Wayne Gretzky is leading a full-on charge to get a hockey team to Seattle. So sports may come back.
Those are some good fans.
Sports may come back to Seattle. Kings could have went to Seattle. They want to take another NBA team, put them back in Seattle.
They should have took their Thunder out of Seattle.
They shouldn't have, but they did, and they're wanting to put another NBA team in Seattle with the Seahawks. So hockey may come back to Seattle when you're a hockey fan. So next week, a lot of things could happen in the world of the NBA and the free agency.
Somebody will be signed.
With the All-Star break and the deadline coming up, we'll see what blockbuster trades are made. Possibly with the Cardinals. Maybe Evan Longoria and David Price coming to the Cardinals. Maybe Adrian Beltre has been mentioned coming to the Cardinals. Maybe Chase Headley or Seth Smith of the San Diego Padres coming to the Cardinals.
And I predict Melo signs before next week.
I think Melo will go ahead and make his decision quite quickly. That way he can get to working with the team. LeBron, on the other hand, may take a little bit longer. Chris Bosh may go to Houston.
Houston or Miami for him. He ain't going anywhere else.
He is thinking about going to Houston. We don't know if he's being courted by Dwight Howard or James Harden. But a lot of things will happen in the next week or so. So we are out. This is Arguing Sports. See you next time.